Hello, Marion here. Just want to talk to you about what happens to us before we're born. Where's our soul? What happens to us after we die, before we're born again? Okay, so what I've been shown from my team above the clouds that I work with, that I have ever since I was little, is that before we're born, as souls, and everybody that's in your life, all of us souls sit around in the spiritual classroom. We talk about, oh, what lesson did you learn in your last lifetime? What lesson did you learn? Would you like to learn in this lifetime? You know, who do you want to learn it with? Do you want to be a husband? Do you want to be a wife? Do you want to be a teacher? To teach the lesson. How long do you want to live? How long do you want to take to learn these lessons? So during our lifetime, so that's what we do before we're born. So we make a contract with a significant other in our life as to who we're going to learn that lesson with. Lessons, you know, could be things like forgiveness and unconditional love, respect, tolerance, integrity, self-respect, honesty, justice. There's a whole lot of spiritual lessons out there that we need to learn as a soul. So, yeah. Okay, so we can talk about that, you know, in a reading. During our lifetimes, and usually when we're asleep as well, our souls will travel back to the spiritual classroom to spend time with other people, other souls in our lives, and go, hey, you know, look, I'm struggling with my lesson. Can I get some more guidance? And then that's what your guides are there for. Guides are just people like us that have already passed over, that have lived all their lifetimes and now working in that spiritual classroom. So it's really interesting, and that's why sometimes when we meet people, we know, oh, I feel like I know you, but I don't know you from this lifetime. You know, that connection. That's when we know that we've met with those people in the spiritual classroom. Okay, so you know, what lessons are you here to learn? You know, what lessons are you struggling with? What lessons are you teaching? You know, and if you're a 5 or a 6, remember what I say about 5s and 6s. 5s are just people who just use their 5 senses. People who have got 6 senses, you know. So, you know, there's a big difference between 5s and 6s. I don't judge anybody, but people, you know, when I look at people that way, it makes sense. People who are 5s, if this ruler represents the spiritual universe, okay, so the first 1 centimetre is what a 5 would understand about that whole spiritual universe. Somebody who's a 6 like me, I'd understand out to about here. So I can understand people who are 5s quite easily. They can't understand me, which is okay. So you might be somewhere around the middle. You might be like 5.5. So if you're clashing with somebody, you might like to think about whether that person is a 5. Did you make a contract with them in the spiritual classroom about teaching them a lesson in this lifetime, or are you meant to be learning the lesson from them? So maybe whatever's frustrating you about them, you might like to have a look. You know, if it's about tolerance and forgiveness, honesty, maybe because you've got those qualities, you might be the one that needs to teach that person. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it, this spirituality stuff? There's more to it than you realise. Okay, so I just want to leave that stuff with you. And yeah, so when we pass away, that's what happens, is we go back to the spiritual classroom, and because there's so many lessons to learn for our soul's growth. Yeah, so any questions, just send me a message. You can message me on my website, www.psychiclikenoother.com.au. You might like to book a reading. Facebook, psychiclikenoother.com.au. Also, I hear on YouTube, Marion Weatherburn. I'm here to help you on your spiritual journey. And remember that souls are simple. We just want to love and be loved. It's as humans that we complicate life.